I told you I was an Alcoholics Anonymous sponsor. I want you to all meet Ron.
Thank you, sir.
His name is Ron, and he's an alcoholic.
Hello.
This
I'm off
is
the wagon.
it happened as soon as the wagon stopped. That's funny, isn't it?
As soon as I could get off that, I got off of it.
This is an interesting thing. How much are you willing to talk about this? I mean, this is one of those things where you missed your shot, motherfucker. I can say what I want now, and you can't do anything about it. And can we talk about how?
Let's talk about it, Rich.
So we were together the night that he ended up in all this.
Yeah.
Are you willing? No, this is, it's just got to do with a running car and a fence and, well, a last shot of fireball and...
One too many fireballs will get you arrested. I ended up in an airport parking lot. Or a runway. Or was it a zoo? I don't know where I was. Was it?
Are you seriously asking me this?
I know where it was.
Okay.
Now, after the fact, when I was there, I
right.
did not. One too many.
I knew where I was. Go ahead.
One too many. I found myself trapped into a gated community, a gated fence. Couldn't get out. Tried to get out. Tried to start a car to open a gate. That didn't work. So I knocked on the door. Somebody came out. They told me, "Look, man, I just called the cops. You got to get out of here." So I got out of there.
You got to get out of here. That doesn't often happen.
I climbed the fence. I jumped down. It's probably 15 feet high. I stomped on the ground, superhero stomp. Right when I land, there's 4 or 5 police cars outside there to get me. It was breaking and entering. It was public attacks and grand theft auto. Technically, I did try to steal somebody's car.
They're selling us the game all the time as kids. What do they expect to happen?
Yeah. I didn't have a gun or a hooker. I figured I was fine.
Night was young.
Yeah. So, landed me about 16, 18 months of probation.
Okay, let's stop. So, all the time he's sitting there not knowing where he's at, I'm sitting in, what is the name of that place?
The Wild Bull.
The Wild Bull, the one where I went to drink with the Secret Service guys. I was trying to remember the name of that place. And we were standing there, we'd just done another shot of Fireball, and he'd ordered a beer for me and him, and I'm standing there, and all of a sudden he was gone. I figured he went to the bathroom, so I sat and oh, not yet, not for you yet. I'm drinking my beer, and I'm looking around. I'm just standing there. I'm okay to stand around alone in a bar, you know, as long as I got a beer in front of me. And I finished my beer, and I looked around, and I said, well, he's not back yet. I guess he's not going to drink his. And if he comes back, then I'll get him another one. And so then I picked up his beer, and here, hey, Ron,
Hey.
I'm drinking your beer. I finished that beer, and I looked around, and I had the same feeling that I've had described to me that others have had about me in places when I disappear. And I had that feeling without even thinking about it. I said, I think he's going to jail. He's not coming back, you know, and that's what people have said about me is I'm just old enough. I passed the torch to him just so I could be.
When I went to jail, after climbing that fence, I tore my shirt. I got some scars on my chest here from it. Got all bloody. Still held a job, so I.
Wait, there's a police report that describes me as describes a shirt on the ground, 2 stories down with blood streaks on it that match the scrapes on my back from where I climbed in the window right before I tore my shirt off and threw it back out. The streaks are a real thing when you're a climber.
I was lucky enough to keep my shirt. I bailed myself out of jail that night. I come walking up, it's probably 10:30 in the morning, and I see this guy out on the porch.
With Heather, and I was saying, I think Ron went to jail last night. He did that, and then I said that, we looked, and here comes Ron walking up over the hill there on Ingleside Terrace.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all in the same mindset.
They put me on probation. Needed to get a sponsor, basically to scribble off signatures for me. So who better than this man right here?
And he came to me and he asked me, he said, this is a serious thing. He said, it's not something I want you to take lightly, but my sponsor just went to jail and I need one to get through to the end. And I'm like, what do I got to do? And so here it is. He did the same thing. He followed my path. As soon as you disappear, you know somebody's in jail. And what?
You did your job.
And I did my job.
He got the big book. He read the 12 steps.
I did.
He learned the story of it all. And
because I know I'd have to cover my ass and his.
If somebody came to talk to him, he needed to know something. And who's better fit to be somebody's sponsor than this guy here?
Judas. But see, the thing is, I'm the one, talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm the one that was with him the night he went to jail, and then I get to be a sponsor. And not, you forget. We don't forget, but we haven't talked about how good of a sponsor I was before I was ever even your sponsor. You came into this, and I said, with these therapists, you got to go to a therapy thing, and they're going to fucking want you to, you got to follow their, and he's just like me. He wants to tell them what he thinks. I mean, not just like me in that way, you know, certainly.
If you're ever put in a place where your therapist is wanting you to open up, don't do it. It's not a good idea. They don't want to hear what you have to say.
Anything you say or do can and will be used against you.
Don't be rational. Don't tell them what you think. Don't tell them who you are. They don't care. If you're in trouble and you want out of trouble, just do what you think they want you to do. Don't do what you need to do, what you think you want to do. Do whatever they think they want you to do. Lie. Get out of there, man.
And it's not even about lying. This is totally, sometimes we get surprised by the layers of the onion when you see the seedier part of a town you live in and you don't realize was even there. They're doing it the other direction too. It goes up that way. And this is an alternate universe for them. They want everybody to think the way they do. And if they don't think the way they want them to, then they will make it hard on you.
So become another person. You're in trouble, be somebody else until you get out of it, and then you can be who you want to be.
And you may have learned something along the way about it. But the truth is, this is the advice I gave to Ron. I said, you need to, from hearing the way this woman was, and this, sure, you can call it hearsay, but you got to be careful of who you call hearsay to. If you have somebody you know and trust, and they're saying this logically, you know you can trust it. And this woman was a problem that wanted to make problems. And I told him, I said, you just have to make another part of yourself. It's role conflict. This is being several different lives in one day, and you need to know who you have to play right there. And I said, you become what they want you to be in their face, and you leave it in there. And he became one of the biggest role models in his.
Oh, they loved me. When I
They
conformed
asked
to their
advice.
idea, when I conformed to what they wanted me to be, they loved it. They said, "You're an inspiration. You got through this. You did it, kid. You're going to be all right." I said, "I'm going to be all right."
He could have been screwing women in AA because they admired him so much. But it's a bad idea to get in with somebody that's already in rehab.
Always, there's
That's good
12
sponsor work right there.
there's 12 steps, but you could always put a 13 in there. Don't try it. It's not a good idea.
And so we got Ron through it, and I was there at the end to sign my name several times. Every how many? 2 weeks? Every week.
Every week.
Every week, every Sunday, where we met for lunch, and we'd just say the diner.
Yeah, if you're looking
Because
for
I've
a
been
good
to that
diner, we can
diner.
tell you.
I met his sponsor before he went to jail again, and at that diner, so I can describe the diner that we supposedly, he took me to breakfast with him once. I'm with an AA group, smelling like alcohol, and yeah, but so I could describe the diner. We'd have meetings at the diners, and are we implicating ourselves in something?
No, I don't know.
You just couldn't say you're sitting on the porch. We had our talks all the time about how you get by it. You know, psychology with humor. Ha 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 ha. Fuck you too. You know, we got through it. And that woman, if I remember right, and I'm not asking you to correct me because this is just as good as it needs to be. If I remember right, we laughed before they finally signed his release stuff because they were fucking with him in the beginning and they were trying to drag it on. He turned it, and he made a hero out of himself, and they were glad to put him out there. And there was an appointment set up for the next week, the Wednesday after he was to be released from probation. And with his therapist, he told her he's going to keep coming and seeing her. Everything's great. And then fucking when he didn't show up Wednesday morning, he'd taken the day off. And he was drinking, and she calls, what aren't we supposed to have an appointment? He's like, he said, I'm sorry, I just cracked my first beer. Happy Hero Day. Fuck yeah, man. And so for the thumbnail, what we're going to do is Michelle, Victoria's sister, she had sent copies that Victoria had sent her of a year ago today, not too long ago. There's a picture of you and me when I'm handing your first beer on getting off probation. That's a sponsor. Remember, I'm also an ordained minister. #Radio for the deaf. The Judas resurrection. And Ron. So if you need any pseudo-religious stuff done, that's the point. Let's call it quasi-religious stuff. Burials and burials, but I don't do baptisms unless they're in my own blood. And I will still sponsor you, and I'll get you through. And if you don't beat the damn system, you'll be so fucked up by the time I'm done with you. They'll find you in a bathtub with a bunch of empty whiskey bottles, and you'll know that you finally had enough, and you'll quit drinking anyway. I'm your sponsor, and that's Ron. What, do you approve?
I approve this.
Very good.